911 emergency.
There's a man laying in the street. He's bleeding from his ears and profusely from the back of the head, and it's streaming down the street into the gutter.
Lewis grabbed him around his neck with his left arm, and he just came back and he punched him one time.
She saw this man killed by a single punch.
Patrick fell over like a pancake. I mean, like a book. You'd stand the book up on any with boing, right over.
Patrick Hurricane didn't just die. Lewis Waldron killed him.
What price should he pay?
We'll hang him. Okay, we'll make an example of him.
I have a mother whose son's not coming home.
Harold Dow on a case that puts justice to the test.
Just because the word nigger was used does not make it a racist thing.
In the next 48 hours.
You can win, you can lose. I mean, I'm not a criminal.
Also, is 48 hours. Good evening. A traffic incident, an angry confrontation. When it's over, one man is dead, another is charged with murder. Now that accused man, Lewis Waldron, struggles to understand how a chance encounter went so horribly wrong, how a fistfight turned fatal. And a court struggles with the question, what is justice? What is fair punishment for a single punch that cost a man his life? Tonight, you will follow the search for an answer as Harold Dow brings us this exclusive look at one man living with the consequences of one angry act.
You know, close your eyes and try to recreate the day again and again and again. Try to go back in time and remember what your mind was like.
2 or 3 in the car.
You describing a movie, frame by frame by frame by frame. Okay.
23-year-old Lewis Waldron is being forced to retrace the steps of a day he'd give anything to forget.
Talk to me, Lewis. Talk to me. Tell me.
The day he killed this man, Patrick Hurricane, with a single punch.
The victim's supposed to be laying in the middle of the street, and there is a...
Less than 50 feet? Yes, less than
John Runfola is Waldron's attorney.
Lewis is getting a raw deal. Lewis is not ready to go to state prison for throwing one punch. Talk, Lewis. Practice talking.
Runfola will argue the killing was accidental, an excusable homicide.
When 2 people get involved in just fisticuffs and one person dies, that's unexpected.
Patrick Hurricane didn't just die. Lewis Waldron killed him.
Prosecutor John Farrell is also retracing the steps of what happened that day.
Lewis Waldron killed him, and he walked away with Patrick Hurricane's blood on his shoes, and he has to be held accountable for that. The question is, what does that mean?
This is Pat.
For Kevin Curran and Mike Doherty, who grew up with Hurricane, accountability means a murder conviction and a long prison sentence.
And every witness says Pat was running. He was not trying to do anything. He was running for his life.
This guy is one of the least talkative.
For Waldron, a college criminology major who's never been in trouble before,
it's like pulling teeth, Lou.
Accountability has a very different meaning.
But keep working. We're doing okay.
Do you think it would be wrong to send you to jail? I think it would be real wrong to send me to jail. I'm not a criminal, and it never crossed my mind to kill no one in my life, and it just happened.
It happened more than a year ago in this quiet working-class neighborhood called the Sunset District. Patrick Hurricane, who grew up here, was riding his bicycle home after having a couple of beers when Lewis Waldron came driving down this same street.
I had the radio on. I was playing modern hip-hop. And he's in the dead center coming towards me. As he approaches closer, I try to move over to the yellow line, but he gives me the finger and knocks the mirror off.
It was all over a $50 side mirror.
Waldron made a U-turn and followed Hurricane, he says, to make him pay for the broken mirror.
I got to about here when I heard some angry shouts.
Maxine Powell saw what happened that day.
I said somebody has to do something. So I walked into here to call 911.
911 emergency.
Yes, I just wanted to report there's a white male on a bicycle that's being chased.
He kicked at the car and said the N-word.
It looks like they want to do him in.
Eventually, after chasing him on and off for several minutes, Waldron came face to face with Hurricane.
The guy on the bike was walking backwards, and he kept saying over and over again, hey man, don't get mad. Let's talk.
As I got closer, he had his hands up in I don't want to have any problems, you know, kind of way. But as things went on, he egged me on one last time.
Lewis grabbed him around his neck with his left arm, and he just came back and he punched him one time. That was it, just once. And Patrick fell over like a pancake. I mean, like a book. You'd stand a book up on any with it, boing, right over. The guy knocked him down and kicked him.
Hurricane fractured his skull when he hit the pavement. He died 2 days later.
13 Charlie's got 3 detained.
Waldron was arrested and charged with murder. District Attorney Arlo Smith was charged with playing politics.
We will evaluate the case, and justice will be done with.
It shouldn't have ever been a murder charge to begin with. But Arlo Smith wanted to be district attorney again.
Barbara Bell is Lewis Waldron's grandmother.
So here's a kid, nobody's going to do anything about it. You know, we'll hang him. Hey, we'll make an example of him.
Arlo Smith denied the charges, but the city reacted. Headlines told the story.
Just because the word nigger was used does not make it a racist thing.
Mike Doherty says race had nothing to do with his friend's death.
How are you? I think it came down to anger against an individual. The individual happened to be black, and, you know, my friend happened to be white.
Waldron sat in jail for 4 months, facing a possible sentence of 25 years to life for murder.
It's a bad situation. It's just pretty bad, you know.
Then an unexpected break. The election brought a new district attorney and a new review of the evidence. The charge of murder reduced to involuntary manslaughter.
I think Lewis Waldron should thank God that he isn't facing first-degree murder charges. Now all we can hope for is that he is found guilty, that he's sentenced to the full extent of the law.
For Waldron, that would mean 6 years in prison.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, let's call the case.
Lawyer John Runfola is meeting with the prosecutor to see if he can negotiate a better deal.
Possible disposition.
The meeting doesn't take long.
I think the offer is ridiculous. I think you should say no. Right now, they're a wonderful offer by their office because of the deep compassion that they have. Is 4 years in state prison, which I think is a lot of crap.
We should not have to go through this agony. He should not have to go through this. And to my way of thinking, they have offered him nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
I know they seem taken aback by a 4-year state prison sentence. I have a mother whose son's not coming home.
How do you feel about the trial? Do you feel...
We've talked about that all along. The problem is somebody died, okay? That's always a problem.
Right.
We do have a safety net in terms of time now, if it feels like a net at all. It can go either way, Lewis.
That's true.
You want to play safe and go for the tie, or do you want to go for the win?
Let's go for the win. Let's go for the win.
All right, that's fine.
People versus Louise Waldron, Superior.
Understanding, Mr. Runfola and Mr. Farrell, is that at this time, there is no disposition.
In some cases, just need to be tried.
My client
And this may be one of them.
not interested in that.